So far this week, we've told you how the opioid crisis is affecting millions of Americans, and many right here in mid-Missouri.
Tonight, ABC 17's Joe McLean continues our in-depth coverage with this special report that looks at the innocent people who are affected by these drugs and have no say-so in the matter.
More than 2.5 million Americans have addiction problems with prescription drugs or heroin. That's according to the American Society of Addiction Medicine. But while the opioid crisis obviously affects more than just those who are addicted, it turns out more and more children are at risk of addictions without even taking the drugs. This is Drew and Kirsten Wansing in April, caring for their 6-month-old foster child, Michael. Unable to conceive on their own, the Jefferson City couple has cared for dozens of foster children over the last 2 years.
This is a way for us to grow our family and break the cycle for other kids.
Michael was placed with the Wansing family when he was just 40 days old after being released from his birth hospital into the custody of the state. It's because Michael's biological mother suffered from several forms of substance abuse.
Methamphetamines, opiates, and marijuana, and alcohol.
Michael was exposed to all those substances, including opioids, while he was still in the womb. For many children, that exposure can often turn into prenatal addiction. That condition, when it relates to opioids, is known as neonatal abstinence syndrome, or NAS. And it's something that doctors like Naomi Lauriello at the University of Missouri have been seeing more and more frequently.
So at delivery, babies aren't usually actively withdrawing because the maternal drugs that they've been using are still in their system. So usually within a day or two, we observe them, and when they hit a certain level of symptoms.
Symptoms like high-pitched crying, irritability, jitteriness, vomiting, diarrhea, and many others. Like fetal alcohol syndrome, NAS can lead to malnutrition and growth problems. Michael, who was exposed to several harmful substances, has to make frequent doctor visits, this time to a feeding specialist. NAS can lead to seizures and even death if not properly treated, and Lauriello says the treatment is no quick process.
It takes a while for, depending on what medications the mom is on, it can take a while for that to completely go away. So sometimes if they're on a mixed drugs, they'll start withdrawing from one drug and then continue to have increased symptoms from withdrawal of a second drug.
According to a report by the Missouri Hospital Association, the number of NAS cases across the U.S. has increased about 300% since 1999. Here in the Show Me State, the number of cases has increased by 538% in just the last decade.
There's an increasing rate of opiate addiction in the United States, both prescribed and illicit drugs. And so those are the babies that tend to have the highest rates of withdrawal. We usually have 1 to 2 babies who are withdrawing at any time in the nursery. Some days it seems like it's up to 5 or 6, and then some days it's, it just depends.
Of every 1,000 infants born in Missouri, this map shows how many are born with NAS. On average, Boone County delivers a little more than 4, Callaway County about 3.5, and Cole County more than 5 babies for every 1,000 are born addicted to opioids. Those rural counties in red are where the rates get into the double digits, like Pulaski County at almost 15 and Iron County at more than 26.
Makes me feel sad that there's not resources in the support systems for moms to get clean and get the assistance to help their child.
Mothers who are pregnant probably don't feel comfortable coming forth if in fact they are using opiates. So, I think we have to create a culture where we can try to provide that prenatal care that's in a non-judgmental, helpful way.
Julia Adamy coordinates home and community-based services at Great Circle, a social services organization that contracts with the state of Missouri to manage things like counseling, child abuse prevention, autism programs, as well as foster care and adoption cases. Adamy says the uptrend in NAS cases has contributed to an influx in children needing foster homes.
Now, heroin, prescription, opiate drugs that parents are taking who receive no prenatal care. The realm of all of that has opened up, and so it's much larger than what we never used to see that, hardly.
Mid-Missouri does have one less foster care case after the Wansings adopted Michael last month. His treatment and health monitoring continue, now officially as part of the family. There are multiple addiction treatment centers in mid-Missouri. If you'd like to learn where those are, more about NAS, Great Circle, or anything we've talked about during our series on battling the opioid crisis, you can visit our website, abc17news.com, and click or tap on the Opioid Crisis tab.